It's always a pleasure each year to talk about the Alliance Francaise French Film Festival, and it's my great pleasure to speak to the CEO of the Alliance Francaise, Frederic Alliod. Frederic, welcome again to Movie Metropolis.
Hello, Peter. Thank you for having me again.
A great pleasure, and I'm so impressed with the French film industry. I must say, they produce so many films, supported by ticket prices to fund films and so on. So it must be a pleasure for you to be able to choose films for the French Film Festival.
Yes, this is one of our strengths is that the industry in France is still strong. Because you're totally right, we have a financing system which is complicated. It's very administrative, yet it works. And that's the very reason why we are still capable of producing more than 200 films per year. You're right, the money comes from a tax on the ticket price if you're going to see the movie, and whatever the nationality of the movie, if a Hollywood blockbuster works very well at the box office in France, is going to contribute to the financing of French content, French feature film. TV channels are also a big contributor of this system, maybe the main contributors. And more, it used to be the DVD sales, but more and more the VOD platform, the OTT platforms, based on the principle that if you make money out of French content, you should contribute to its creation. So yes, this year we have 38 films, but yes, it seems a lot sometimes, but when we produce more than 200, actually there's still a process of selecting the film, yes.
Okay, well done on that, and it's great to hear the French film industry doing so much to support film. I wish we did more in Australia, but that's another story. Okay, now now let's talk about some of the films, and I must say the opening night film, Cédric Clapiche's new film Colors of Time, sounds like a really excellent film.
It's an excellent film. Cédric Clapiche is a very is a top director in France with a film. I have only the French title coming to my mind, like L'Auberge Espagnole, Chacun cherche son chat. I'm sorry for the French title. I don't always remember the titles in English. And the film was first presented in Cannes this year, the Cannes Film Festival. And of course, when you select a film for the opening galas, you want to set the tone. And I think this one is very interesting. It starts in nowadays, it's about inheritance. People actually they are gathered but they're not related with each other. They don't know each other. However, they have in common a great auntie, and they inherited from her. So of course they want to learn more about her, and you're going to make the trip back to the beginning of the 20th century in Paris, this postal card Paris that people like from this era. And you're going to discover with the main character the word of the impressionism, the painters, and also a few writers that are connected to this period of time. And it's a
Sounds
comedy. It's very fun, actually.
And it's comedy. Okay, sounds like a lot of fun. A great opening night film by the sounds of it. Looking forward to it. And the closing night film is also a comedy by the looks of it, Rodrigue in Love.
Rodrigue in Love, because of course it wouldn't be a French film festival if we didn't have a good romantic comedy. So yes, it's very contemporary. It won first prize at the Festival de l'Alpe d'Huez, which is a comedy film festival in France. And so this is your classic romantic comedy, but the background is the Festival of Performing Arts in Avignon. If you love theater, this is a place where you have to go. This is the Cannes of the live performances. And this is a romantic comedy, and you get to see. I'm sorry, I forgot to switch off my phone, and I'm sorry for that. And I'm so sorry. Up. And I'm sorry for the interference. Yes, in Avignon, it's a beautiful place, actually. It's a very famous city in France, beautiful city, and you get to see that and to travel with the main character during the film.
Okay, Sounds great. Now, some years ago, I had the pleasure at the Munich Film Festival to meet Michel Legrand, a terrific musician and composer, etc., and worked with Jacques Demy and so on. And I'm so pleased to see a documentary about Michel Legrand in the festival.
Yes, exactly. This documentary, which is a beautiful documentary, was also presented in Cannes first time. This is obviously a great composer. He's very famous for the film, the musical by Jacques Demy. The young girl of Cherbourg, sorry, the umbrella of Cherbourg. I'm sorry, so sometimes I'm struggling with the English title of some films because I know them in French.
Yes,
The
umbrellas.
Young Lady of
Yeah,
Rochefort, this is well, okay, I got
yes,
mixed up,
yes,
I'm sorry. And he's an Oscar-winning composer, so yes. And through this true story, you will get also to see international superstar like Sting. They are going to testify in the film. So maybe you think you don't know him, but if you watch the documentary and listen to his music, you say, "Oh, of course I know that."
okay. Looking forward to it. My eye's always drawn to a film by Francois Ozon, and I notice he's made a new film, The Stranger, based on a Camus novel.
Yes, he's very prolific, François Ozon. He makes a lot of films, but he makes good films, and this one really is really good. It's about Albert Camus, The Stranger. He's famous for being an existentialist. I'm sorry for my terrible pronunciation. Novel, and is very existentialist killer. It's very difficult to understand his motivation and it question yourself. The film is beautifully shot in black and white, so it's very a real cinematographic experience. It's different from the film. It totally respects the spirit of the film. This book, sorry, the respect the spirit of the book, and this book, which is everybody think is extremely difficult to adapt on the big screen. And I think it's masterfully done. And so again, this is a really cinematographic experience, different from the book, and it's totally worth it. This is what our film, because we have a few films which are adapted from French novel, and they all have that in common. I think this year they are visually striking, which makes it worthwhile to from page turners to screen delights to go and see them because this is a totally different experience, and yet it respects the source material.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it. Always a pleasure to see Isabelle Huppert in a film, and I notice she's in The Richest Woman in the World.
Yes, she is based on true events. They changed the name and the name of the companies, but basically, this is the real story about Liliane Bettencourt. She passed away now. She was the owner of L'Oréal, the cosmetic groups. So they changed the names, they changed the story because it's not about that. Yes, it's true event about you will see that parasite people that actually want to get money from very rich people. It's kind of crazy. But what is very good is, and this is all the talent of Isabelle Huppert, is what you see at the end of the day. Yes, she's extremely rich, but you see a woman. A woman, this is a portrait of a woman, a journey for her. She is looking for a meaning to her life. You know, she's bored. She needs the bubbles that she doesn't have in her champagne anymore. And this you can relate. But of course, it takes the talent of Isabelle Huppert to make this character likable. However, when you're going to see the film, you say, oh, these are true events? No, I don't believe it. Then go watch the film. And then I think there is a great documentary. It's on Netflix. I don't know if it's available in Australia. There is a documentary series that talks about it, and you can check the facts. And the facts are even crazier than what you see in the film. But at the end of the day, this is a woman journey and this is about empowerment.
Excellent. All right, another great film, and another one that drew my attention is a film called Jean Valjean, who, of course, is a character based on Victor Hugo's Les Mis, Miserables, and so on.
Exactly, that's it. So this is not the full adaptation of the book. This is really the beginning of the book when Jean Valjean is a character. Actually, he was in prison. It's not the exact term because this is a prison in the old day when you have to break stone. And I don't have the exact word in English. I'm sorry for that. Uh, because he stole an apple and he go for years in this jail just for that. So basically he lost faith in humanity. So he's going out of jail and he's going to meet some people and with their kindness is going to change his vision of the world. He's going to start to believe in humankind again. And this is the start of his journey as becoming the hero that you know in Les Miserables. This is also what I said before for Camus. It's also beautifully shot. The photography is extremely well done and beautiful. So again, this is a pure independent cinematographic experience, and I think it's worth it on the big screen.
Ah, sounds great. Now, it's great to see a restored film, Claude Lelouch's film, A Man and a Woman from 1966, with music, beautiful music by Francis Lai. I remember it so well. It's great that you're screening this restored version in the festival.
Excuse me, sorry, I couldn't hear you right. I'm sorry.
The restored print of A Man and a Woman, Claude Lelouch.
Yes, exactly. The Oscar-winning film. This is actually the 60th anniversary of the film. And I was mentioning romantic comedy and the idea of romance associated to the image of France. So this is the romantic comedy on top of all romantic comedies. This is really a classic movie, a classic of romance. And I think for those who haven't seen the film, to discover the film in the best condition ever, and for those who have seen the film maybe a long time ago, to rediscover the film on the big screen, 4K restored. This has a beautiful opportunity to watch the film and condition to watch the film.
Oh, excellent stuff. Now, just as a contrast, I notice a film, an animation that's received a lot of acclaim, Little Amelie.
Yes, exactly. I would say this film specifically in terms of animation is a candy for the eyes. It's beautiful, it's colorful, it's very, very well animated. It's based on a book by a Belgian author, Amélie Nothomb, Little Amélie, or the character of Rain, La métaphysique des tubes. And it's about her true childhood story when because she grew up in Japan. Her father was an ambassador for Belgium there. She's very smart. So it's great for the family. For the young kid, it's colorful. It follows the story of this little girl. She discovers the world, but she's also extremely smart. There are a lot of thinking. She has a lot of thoughts that will resonate with the grown-ups as well. So I think this is a film for everybody, the
Uh-huh.
kids and the grown-ups.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it. I notice a film starring Jodie Foster called Private Life.
Yes, and it's her first leading role acting in French from A to Z. It's not her first role in a French films, but she's the first role as a lead, especially with no accent. She speaks for people who don't know that. She actually studied at a French international school in the United States. And her French is absolutely perfect, almost no accent. This is actually a comedy drama and a crime thriller. It's a very good movie by Rebecca Zlotowski, and I think the audience will be surprised and will be also thrilled by the story. And I think she's the best ambassador we could ever hope for to promote French language and French culture. Yes, this is great.
Oh, excellent. Oh, good to hear. Now, I was impressed by Julie Ducournau's film Titane, going back a couple of years, I think. And she has a new film called Alpha.
Alpha, yes, the film was in official competition in Cannes this year. You would define the genre of the film as a body horror. Actually, this is the genre of the film. I wouldn't say it's horror. It talks about This is a very metaphorical kind of film, visually extremely strong, about a disease that make you think about the AIDS epidemic in the 80s, but actually people are turned to stone, to marble. And so you follow the story of a young girl because this disease is transmitted with the blood, and she get a tattoo, and the story is going to be about is she going to be contaminated or not? It's a real experience. It's not going to be classic storytelling. It's visually striking. If you want to have a different kind of experience, this is clearly an experience. So it's not for everybody maybe, but if you're into trying some bolder kind of films and have a very, very unique cinematographic experience, I would definitely say this is a film that you should try.
I agree. She makes some really impressive films, very challenging films. So, okay, great. Now, I notice a new film starring Claes Bang, The Great Arch.
Yes, it's based on the true story of the Danish architect who designed La Grande Arche de la Défense, the Great Arch basically this is a district business in France, and there is an arch that face the famous Arc de Triomphe. And this is a story behind it. Again in the 80s, so you get to see Paris in this era. It's strangely funny, strangely sad as well. You see all the what happens in the backstage of politics of designing and building such an iconic landmark. Um, and again, it sounds, but actually, like I said, it's quite funny, strangely funny. It's not a comedy, but somehow you will see, no, seriously, this is what actually happened. And no, it happened this way. So it's based on true fact. You can check the fact again. So uh, somehow you would think if you have seen the Brutalist, you might think about the film, but it's less dramatic. It's more like comedy drama. But you could compare the film if you maybe.
Interesting to hear all that. That sounds great. So many good films in the festival, as always. And I'm pleased to see Dominic Moll has a new film called Case 137.
Yes, the film also was official competition in Cannes this year. It's basically this is a police investigation about police brutality. And you see, so this is a very realistic kind of film. So you get to understand all the issue when you do that kind of investigation. But I think the film is very relevant. It clearly resonates with the news right now, maybe not in France, but international news as well. So yes, it's a film that's going to question, to challenge you. And I would highlight the incredible performance by Léa Drucker, the leading character, the female leading character, yes.
Excellent. And another film that drew my attention is a film starring Pierre Niney. I think it's pronounced Guru.
Guru, exactly. This is a film, so it's a thriller. It's really like your classic thriller. So really it's about murders and that kind of things. But what is interesting is it's what we call the Guru. So it's about this development, self-development coach. And these big ceremonies, the Americans are very good at doing that. I'm thinking of people like, I think, Tony Robbins, who write books, and they have this big seminar with so many people, and they coach them in live. And the film question yourself. Also, this is a thriller. This is about crime and that kind of things. But you also question yourself about influence, how influenced you are, and because they play with the psychology of people, but they are not psychologists, they don't get the degree, and yet people trust them just like they were like a medical experts. So how do you control that? How do you frame that? This is also part of the questions that's going to be raised in the film. Again, this is what I like with this selection of films. These are genre films. It's about being comedy, drama, thriller, crime thriller, psychological thriller. So this is what you get. But they're also going to question yourself, ask right question. So when you leave the cinema, hopefully the movie stays with you and make you feel like you want to learn more about this subject.
Uh-huh.
Part of the film is actually shot in the US, in Las Vegas, and you get to see this American guru and this French coach wants to become just like these guys. But it's, of course, a totally different world.
Uh-huh. Very good. So many good films. And one starring Francois Cluzet is good to see called Son of.
The Sound of, yes, it's a comedy. So it's a pure comedy. It's a political satire, actually, about the rise of a boy whose father is a famous politician and is considered to become the new prime minister. So again, you see all the backstage of politics. However, I think it's very universal. First of all, it's a comedy. It's very fast-paced, so it's quite entertaining. It talks about France. It talks about politics, but it's not too specific neither. So I think this is going to resonate with a lot of democracies, and I think you will see connection or differences. But I think it's universal enough for people to make the connection with what happens in their own country. And maybe the situation is very different. Maybe it will resonate somehow with Australia or not. But if it's not, maybe at least it's always interesting information to see the differences.
Yes. Okay. Very good. It's great to see Marianne Cotillard in a new film called The Ice Tower.
Yes, the Ice Tower. It's again a quite poetical and a metaphorical kind of film. So she's the lead, and actually, it's about a young girl. For some reason, she's going to be in the shooting of a movie called The Ice Tower, which is an adaptation of the classic story that people may know. They are maybe familiar with the animated film Frozen by Disney about the queen in the ice. I'm sorry, I don't have the proper word in English. So during the shooting, she's going to develop a connection, uh, kind of a toxic connection with the lead actress, which is played by Marion Cotillard, and this is this kind of dreamy, metaphorical relationship, which is kind of toxic. And of course, I don't want to spoil the end, but it's more art house, I would say. But you get all the star power of Marion Cotillard.
Okay. And I just want to mention one other. We've got the opening film called Colors of Time, but there's another film called Cycle of Time.
Yes, it's actually going to be our ladies' night for. It's a comedy. Clearly, it's a time traveling comedy. It's kind of the French Back to the Future, but it started in the 50s, and this is a story of a family, a couple, and the husband is very misogynistic. I hope the word is correct
Yep,
in
yep.
English. And for some reason, basically, they're going to be transported to the today to our time. And of course, it's going to be extremely challenging for them to confront, even for the female character, for this post-Me Too era where they lose every references they have. They don't understand the codes. They don't know how to survive. Everybody is upside down for them. And how do they are going to survive? And I think good storytelling is always about the journey and transformation. So this is going to be fun, interesting, and a friendly reminder for people who are a bit who have too much nostalgia that no, the 50s were great days, but there were not always better days than today's, especially if you were a woman. So it's again about empowerment.
Sounds great. Look, we've discussed a number of films, Frederic. I just wanted to ask you if there are any other films we haven't discussed so far in the French Film Festival that you would like to mention.
Oh yes, it's always difficult to we have a few highlights I would mention because I think people will be interested in that because of course it's just like for Jodie Foster, we have Angelina Jolie playing in French in Couture, again by Alice Winocourt. So this is a portrait of four women during a fashion week in Paris. So it's really intimate stories again about personal journeys. But I think people will be very interested to see Angelina Jolie in that kind of French films, especially acting most of the film in French. And you have also part of our highlights, I would mention What is Love if you love comedies and you get also to travel to Italy with the main characters, to the Vatican especially, based on a real fact about a couple, they are divorced and the ex-husband want to marry again religiously in the Catholic religion. And actually it's a thing, so you have to erase to cancel your previous marriage with the church. So it's actually it does exist. I know some people personally, some people for which it happens, but it gets much more complicated than you would expect, and it's very funny.
Okay.
It's part of the films that I think it's one of our highlight, I would say.
So many highlights in this year's Alliance Francaise French Film Festival from the 4th of March to the 8th of April in Palace cinemas across Australia. And what's the best website for people to get more information, book tickets, all that sort of thing?
Yes, we have a website and the address is AF, the initial of Alliance Francaise, AF French Film Festival.org. And then you get to see all the film to book your tickets online. This year we are actually in 18 cities. We start in Sydney on the 3rd of March, and the last edition of the last version of the film will be in Darwin and will end in the 26th of April. But we have 18 cities this year.
Wow, that's expanded so well, and so many great films. 38 films, in fact, to look forward to in the Alliance Francaise French Film Festival. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Frederic. We've been speaking to Frederic Alliod, the CEO of Alliance Francaise, about this year's French Film Festival. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you, Peter. It's always a pleasure.
All the best.